we'll be looking at this morning in issues and answers. I have gentlemen with us that will be discussing vigilante group in Nigeria. Okay, the first on my list we have Jeffrey Scott Emwakmo. He is the Director of Operations, so the Chief Security Officer, Diamond VIP Security.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All right, we have Dr. Ogbebo Matthew Omonosage Agbon. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
And we have J. Ewe Osifo. He's a man of God. We have a balanced panel today that will be looking at it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. All right. Let me come to the security man in our midst. You are into security, sir?
Sure.
Okay. You know, in Nigeria, everybody is not, you are not a security officer
Yes, so.
to yourself.
Yeah.
You have to take
I'm
care
over
of
6,000 officers in Edo.
Wow. Okay. That means the discussion is going to be robust this morning.
Okay.
All right. Do you really think we need this vigilante group? As I said earlier, we have the army, we have the police. Are they not there to just duplicate? Or are these other security agencies not enough to manage the security challenges we have now in this country?
Well, I think we must say that the job of the vigilante is very, very, very key. And we will not say that maybe they are duplicating the services of other security apparatus that we have in Nigeria. It is very key because whether we like it or not, in this time of our country, based on the insecurity that we have ravaging the country, I think community security is very key as we speak now. Because whether you like it or not, when we were growing up, we understand that we, across family scope, we were able to know ourselves. But because of modernization and the advancement, we cannot really have it in that norm any form. What I mean is that, like a family, you can say you are from Edokpolo family, you are from Obaseki family, you are from Johnson's family, but it's no longer like that anymore. So we have crossbreed all over because of the nationality. Everybody travels from other states and all, and we have different form of criminality going on. So the police is already being overwhelmed with a lot of security duties and activities in the state or in the country at large. So they cannot do it all. So that is why we need this community policing, which was now breaking down into the form called the vigilante. You understand, like the Benin word we usually use, then we call it a horde. Talking about having kind of volunteers as youth to secure various communities or streets or areas when we were growing up in the early 80s. But now the vigilante, that is from our understanding, it was even from the vigilante services that we now have the NCDC, where the Nigerian Civil Defense Corps were also broken out by then Olusegun Obasanjo. He saw the need that it was through the services of these individuals that we need to secure our communities' life and property and our environment. Because this set of people, they understand the terrain, they understand the neighborhood at its where. Because if you are talking about the Nigeria Police Force or other security apparatus, because they have been either been transferred to various states and communities to work, they might not know the terrain. But this local vigilante understand the terrain, the operational details of that community and that terrain. So if let's say an external person is coming or intruding, so they can say, okay, such a force or such a strike is coming from an external. But once a strike or kind of a criminal activity is done within a community, you can know that this, just like I said, then in the 70s or the 80s, you can trace to say, this one is an insider activity, but this one is an external force or external criminal activity. But now we cannot base it in that form because now we have a crossbreed kind of activities of criminal activity going on within our neighborhood and all. But in essence, the vigilante play a very critical role in curbing or helping in community security.
Okay, let me come to Dr. Ogbebo. You said you have up to 6,000.
Over 6,000 officers in Edo.
Okay, why do you set it up? Was it because of the security challenges, or you just want to contribute your part, or to even make money?
All right. The name of my organization, I'm by name Dr. Matthew Omosage Agbobewo. I hail from Osanisi. By the special grace of God, the organization called the Himbezu Organization, Edo State, Nigeria, was created out of passion. Passion for my state, because as we all know, today in Nigeria, insecurity becomes the order of the day. As at then, I discovered that kidnapping issue became too alarming in the state, especially in Edo Central and Edo North, respectively. Traveling from Benin to Abuja, every day, the issue of kidnapping, was just the order of the day. So I was to lecture with University of Benin, but a thought came to me. You were once in the military. You have, passed through various, voluntary organizations. Why not create one? First and foremost, I joined the Hunter Group of Nigeria. I was made the Deputy Commandant General National Intelligence. But when I just started seeing that in Edo, even the Hunter Group of Nigeria was not having a solid impact, then I went straight to the Legion. The Legion is a body that is responsible for the welfare of all the retired army officers. I met with the senior officer there, Colonel Boegbe. I said, Colonel Boegbe, sir, you see what is happening in the state. I said, but your body is even responsible to kind of tackle the major part of all these menace. He said, yes, they are trying. I said, but I have a vision here. God is telling me to, create a body whereby both the military trained personnel, the hunters, the call the commissioner. The call the commissioner is equally a body that is constitutionally instituted from Legion. Okay. Yes, to form an embodiment to serve the military as a feeder in case the military lacks manpower. They go there, they call them and say, okay, we need so number of people. So they give them name because they are being trained and retrained by the military. Call the commissioner. Then there's a body they call Searchlight. This Searchlight group, they are a national body, but the one that belongs to the state, Edo State. I called the headman. We discussed, we rubbed minds. I said, now we need to come together as one, because unity will stand, but disunity will fall. Yeah. You are a body. Though I'll be hearing about you people that you are into investigations. You have been trained and retrained by the Americans. How to investigate matters. I said, that's true. I said, why not come and let's work together? I said, right now I have some group of hunters in all the 18 local governments. I went for recruiting hunters.
Sorry to cut you. When was this established? This your body you're talking about?
2 years, only 2 years and some months ago.
2 years and some months ago.
Yes, and some months ago.
Because why I asked this question?
Yeah.
Because of your training and the processes you went through. Okay. We've been having a lot of security challenges for some time.
You're right.
Before the government was not stepped in, when he started the Edo Vigilante Network.
Before he set him,
when he set it up, that was when the crime rate reduced drastically.
Certainly. What
was your body doing there? If you had this 2 years ago, because the NSAS protest just started like last year.
My body actually, because I mixed several letters to the government of the day. So he instructed that I should pile up the names of all my officers in all the 18 local governments. The hunters were already working. Yes, because security thing is every man's thing. Okay. To be candid with you, like the work we are doing, when there is any kidnapping case, I was majorly into that.
Okay, you're a private body doing your work.
It's a private body.
So they come to pay you to seek.
Nobody pays me. Before now, I don't receive anything.
Oh, okay.
The little peanut that God gave me, I saved, is what I started with.
All right. Okay, let's go back to the question.
Okay.
Do you think that the coming in of the vigilantes, though it has been there, and let's take it from the starting up from the Edo State government, do you think it helped to reduce the crime rate?
Drastically, yes. Okay. Why not? Like the federal agent, just like what my first brother, talked about. he said, we have federal agents. Now, the vigilantes are to take care of the communities. You understand? Like, the federal agent being posted from Kaduna, for example, or from Lagos, is a new person here. At times, before they are even used to the community, they report them again to another state.
That's true.
But these vigilantes, they grow up here. They are being recruited to mind their communities. Hence, you see their motto. Motto is, taming crimes in the community. So these people, they understand when a new person comes into the land. They understand the behavior of virtually everyone living in the community. And they equally have their special way. There's a special training they receive. How do I mean? Like the hunters among them now. The hunters we know are men that specialize in the bush. They have masteries of their bush, of their forest, of every creeks in their locality. And these men, because of the number of time they spend in the bush, they have a way of even communicating with animals. Imagine men that will take cover waiting for animals. These are men that know some animals that they do kill. They know the one they do kill in the morning. They know the one they do kill in the afternoon, in the evening, even at night. And then they know so many herbs. To be candid with you, traditionally, they've acquired some powers, even in the bush.
Okay, to deal with
crimes and to deal with animals, respectively.
All right.
So that is what makes the vigilante more special to every other forces like the police or the army.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Let me come to Pastor Osifo. We do see you do see the vigilantes in town. Do you, sir?
Yes.
You do see them. Yes. And recently, the governor of Edo State presented 15 operational vehicles to aid them, to assist them in pursuing crime in the state. Let's come to the personnel. Do you look at them as well trained in their discharge, the way they discharge their duties?
I want to start this way. The vigilante you are talking about now, vigilante, especially the one the governor is working with, the joint vigilante. It's not actually there's a group called vigilante. The joint vigilante is made up of other personalities, the OPC, the hunters, different other groups that are made up. I'm still part and parcel of it. But some of the things we do is we just allow some people to walk in the open and some of us also walk quiet. It's very, very key. My colleague said it. In the time past, you will know who enter a community and who will not enter. In the time past, when something happened in a community that had not been happening before, it is easily traceable to say, hey, probably this new person that entered this. It's not just, and if you even check at that time, though it's not a bad thing for development, there's nothing bad if we choose to develop our society by allowing other people to come. But that time you see that if you are talking about one particular group, you just see their houses, the same Osifo family, the same Enabulele family, the same Omonosadiagon family in the street. Yeah, all this kind of thing has been eroded. Therefore, something must be done. The federal agencies, they are overwhelmed. The job is much, and there is high development, high increase, especially in the internet world. And some of these these persons are not trained like that. So you need more hands. There are some people that can tell you here where there are criminals. Things are happening. Some of the criminality that we are seeing here that we needed these people, they are strangers. The only people that can easily tell. For example, do you know that the type of criminality we are facing in this state today, in this country, is more external. Some people understand our bush, strangers understand our bush more than we that own the bush. And if something happened, like my colleague just said, if something happened in the bush, most of the kidnapping cases you see in town, it happens in the bush. It is decided that they come and take whatever they want to do. Have you seen them carry somebody, kidnapping somebody, and begin to deal with the person in town? They still carry the person to the bush. The people that understand the terrain better are the vigilante, especially the hunters group inside the vigilante. There are hunter groups inside the vigilante. I have seen a situation where a criminal was caught. He understands how to get from Mountie Road to Saple Road in the bush, but he doesn't know how to get from Mountie Road to Saple Road in the town. So vigilantes, they are very, very important. We need them. Whatever the government is doing to support them, should even do more. And if the training they have is not enough, we have what we call continuous training. Okay, training should be continuous. Anyway, even in this office, you need more training to be able to accept, to be able to become what you are. Every one of us need it. The vigilante need it. And they might be locally trained. Dr. Monsagyago just said something. The people in the bush, they understand the terrain better. If something happens in the bush, they know how to get there in the bush. Why do how many policemen go to the bush? Something must be discovered in the bush before you report to the police.
All right. Talking about training and retraining, what we have right now is okay, but we still need to do better. Let me come to Director of Operations, Diamond VIP Security. I'm giving you commercials right now. All right. They do say within our own climate that we are more like being, we are not proactive. We are only reactional. That talking about intelligence gathering is the main focus. You need to have enough information before you deal with any crime situation. Do you think, because where I'm going to, in those days, some persons like to give information out. Okay, somebody just entered, there's a new person in this community. The other person will inform the people that is. But these days, we don't see it anymore. People don't inform. They say, if I go, for instance, and they will leak me out, and the next thing, they will come and destroy my family. How do we cope with this in the process of information intelligence gathering?
All right, I think this question is very key, very apt from what my other colleagues have just said. The truth of the matter is that the fear of the unknown, and there have not been that security coverage from in terms of information gathering. It's just like when at the national level, when there was a bill that was passed talking about this whistleblowing. And most persons was now seen as a very better kind of vacuum of opportunity to pass information to the security agent. I think it was the EFCC majorly that needed that flag of that very bill and campaign. But the truth is that when giving out information to most of the security agents or agency per se, if you are not careful, because sometimes they overdrill the, let me use the word, I don't want to use the word, the informant. Because you giving them information to work with in terms of intelligence gathering, they need to now kind of, we need more information from you, start coming to stations, different statements, and start drilling the person that is trying to help the society or the public by giving a very key what we call valid information that will help to the arrest of that criminal at a particular location. So when people now see that also their life, their own families are, let's say there's a threat to their life and their family. So that I say most times the public, general public, is now being careful to give out information. And most security agents, I think the three scope of intelligence must be on a covert and overt method of intelligence gathering. Because just that the trainings, like my colleague said, the training that most of our security agents are having is more or less just like the investigation department. The investigation department, like the CID and other departments within the police force and other security agents, are very key, which they are doing well, perfectly well, excellently. We must give them. But the aspect of operations, I'm an expert when it comes to intelligence and operations, and when it comes to overt and covert intelligence gathering. The truth of the matter is that in area of operations, that is where our security, most times they get it wrong. Like in the Western world, it takes them years to do an underground investigation to get to a crime or to get to the culprit. It takes them everything, even government funds, voting resources to get at a criminal. But here in Nigeria, what we have here is most times is this physical force. And it's not the force, what I mean in terms of arrest, in terms of other, there are ways you can even send an undercover to get to a criminal that the criminal will not even know that is even dealing with what? With an agent. So these are mechanisms that I feel that our security agents need to imbibe, like the Western world where you have like the FBI and you have the CID. These are their best operational techniques or method, which is helping them in the Western world. So I think we need to imbibe this in most of our operational system here in Nigeria, that will help us get to these criminals. You can see that you can even have what we call better security cyber techs. which now the National Assembly they are also advocating for. Whether you have all CCTV cameras in all the streets, in all our houses or areas and all, cannot really get at it. And the basic problem is that when this information that needs to be given out to what? To the police or to these other security agents, there is always what we call a bridge. What is that bridge? The public need to be educated very keenly to know how to give information. You can give information as a raw data. You can give as a raw data to these security agencies. Most times they need you to come in physical, in person. And because of the threats to life and to their loved ones, that is why most people don't like coming forward to present those data or information physical. But like in the Western world and all that, you can just call 911 and give information. There is a threat in my neighborhood, and I suspect XYZ. Immediately they will swing into action. But in Nigeria, yeah, when you are calling maybe emergency line or the control room from the police, or you see they'll start asking, are you there? You come to us. We need also. They'll start even investigating and drilling you. That is giving a very key information. So before you are drilling that person that is giving information, the criminals or the copy, they definitely maybe they may have succeeded having their way. So this approach is something that we must change. The mentality we must change in the system. Because I know that the police, they are also humans. They are not spirits. They cannot be everywhere and all that. But we also need to also talk to the public. In the Western world, a child, even from the primary level, is being trained on how to give out information, on how to make use of all those various emergency lines, and as well to also maybe even in terms of what we call self-protection. Then also in the health aspect, we call this CPRO. A child of 3-5 years can give a CPRO to accident victims.
So whose group should be in charge of this kind of information you're talking about, like the sensitization of people?
Good. There's a public awareness arm in every security, whether being army, whether Air Force, whether Navy or the police and all. They have a kind of a what we call a team, a relation team, a desk or department that give public awareness to the public in regards to security information and operations. So I think they need to vote in more resources in that regard. So let them give public awareness, can be through jingles and other media or social media devices, and let the people. And I think maybe they can also maybe through the curriculum in the educational system, through the Ministry of Education, they can also chip in those information scheme into our modules in the schools, so that they can educate our children, educate parents, so that they should know these things, how to give information, the raw data, those ones they also need. Just like when in case of kidnapping, you can trace through a phone of the kidnapped victim to get. So these are informations that the public need to know. What kind of information I need to give regarding this case and how to pass the information. It must not be all through physical.
Thank you for your talk. Let me come to Dr. Ukwebo. You were in the military before, and you retired from the military.
No, I worked out.
You worked out, okay. I'm talking about there's a problem of this insider working acts with the criminals. It has always been a problem, especially this Boko Haram. They said a lot of persons are inside giving out information to the criminals. So you are into this vigilante group. How do we curtail this? How do you drill these people? What are the processes they need to go so that you don't have these criminals within the group that will be working outside with the criminals, making the efforts of other people to be thwarted?
To be candid, training is one among the key factors to be considered. Which kind of training are you exposed to? And more so, the family you are from, your upbringing. Because there are some people, they are just too money conscious. They are not contented with salary. They are not even contented with allowances. You know, they need the money from the enemy. Just like what is going on right now in Edo State. I remember last time when we when we trace, these kidnappers, to the domain of, some debtors in what's the name of this local government? Umwande local government.
Okay.
Some of those kidnappers, they were terrorizing that Ogbemudia farm. We trade the so-called kidnappers to the domain of debtors that were, living in one small hut close to the river outside there. Because to be candid with you, without an indigene, none of these people can actually succeed us in our locality here.
Okay.
Yes. So, hence, I will advise the government here to, buy drones. We need to have drones that fly in the air. Are you with me? And then, every officers need to be given a special, I call it a signaler. There is like in the Western world, there is something you will, keep to yourself. They will be watching you in the office. Whatever you are doing, whatever you say, your actions, everything will be monitored. Without device to monitor all the officers, because to be candid with you, the person that was good yesterday can be bad today. So I will advise, because there are a lot of devices now to track even officers. They themselves, what they say, what they are doing, in wherever they go. So those devices should be encouraged. And you make sure that you strictly warn the officer. Don't switch off your device. When you switch it off, it will be a count charge against you. So everybody will always on his device. That can go a long way to checkmate the officers. Because I even see some, so-called federal agent officers, so to say, I don't want to be specific, conniving with all these kidnappers. Because the kidnappers, majority of the kidnappers in our bush, they are not Nigerians. The one I personally has taken visibility study about, they are not Nigerians. Like all the prisons they have in Edo State, I specially sponsored with my money, personal money, to know where the prisons are. In Edo North, in Edo Central,
Bush.
even some part of Edo South here. My dear, where they have the biggest prison is located in Eastern Southeast. That's why each time they kidnap, I make sure I instruct the hunters. You block, start to comb close to their prison there. Comb it out.
Okay.
I don't want to go into stories. I don't want to go into
Yes,
sharing testimony because
they
they're
are
already accusing me. There are some men working in Edo State here. They call themselves security agent, accusing Ogbebo.
Okay, it's okay.
Okay.
Bringing personal issues.
All right.
And I want to correct that your own findings, your opinion, saying that most of the criminals are not Nigerians.
They are not Nigerians.
It's your opinion because the statistics is.
I use the word the kidnappers in our bush.
In our bush.
But that's my area special.
That's your own side of your own
Yes.
investigation.
Investigation.
It's a personal
Setting.
one.
Yes.
It's not in the
It's not general.
public domain.
No.
So let's clarify that. Okay, let me come to you, sir. You said you are into security. Let's talk about this insider thing. How do you think it? Because we need to reiterate it and re-emphasize it. For the night, he said something. He said this officer might be good today, and tomorrow it turns to something else. How do we checkmate them? How do we ensure that we don't have criminals in our midst that is working with criminals aside?
Thank you very much. Number one thing is, even the people that are inside is greed. They don't have Nigeria in mind, or Nigerians.
Well, they are not well paid also.
Yeah. If you like increase the pay, they will still collect that thing. If you like, you increase the pay. So we need reorientation, new mindset. We are talking about our fatherland. We're not talking about another person's place. This is listen, psychologically rebrace. Let's checkmate our brain, put it together. That we want to survive. We want to make our fatherland better. America we are running to, England we are running to, somebody work on it. These are the areas we look at. No amount of money we pay these people, though. That thing that they are going to collect, they will collect. In fact, just as my colleague has said, one of the problems we have here is the same security people we run to give information. They are the one that will give it out, that you are the one that brought the information. I have seen it before. It's not a new thing. They will just say, when the man now come and pay higher money, he will now tell you, it's close to you that brought the information. I can't even give you name. We just name. So the only way to curb it, first of all, all our security agencies, whether at the federal, at the state, even at this local vigilante, to be reorientated. This country is our own. Edo State is our own. So we are fighting for the betterment of our land, knowing fully well that this is our future. We have children. We have brothers and sisters. Nobody come to this earth to live. Nobody has lease of life. So if we put our heart together and say, look, let's talk to ourselves, even from the level of the village or John Way house or Gwedion, let me to talk to ourselves. Let us put our hearts together. It not concern me. It is there. It concerns me. When the problem comes, if you are not crying, someone that is close to you is crying. If you are not crying in your eye, it is red. Something is wrong. We are here, but there is a problem. What is the problem? Let us show money. People are flouting it too much. Today, one of the things that I saw recently is that somebody that just built one fine house, they went to clean out the person when they didn't get money. Anybody could get money. They could get from right source, could come from whatever source. But the important thing is that those that are trying to secure us, that we believe in, let us also believe in ourselves. Let us believe in our government. Pay more money. I want to be paid. And more also, one of the things I want to quickly mention concerning this joint vigilante, not only joint vigilante, it's not even enough yet. Let us employ these youth into joint vigilante. Let's put them there. There is nothing bad in every street to have 2 or 3 people doing vigilante work there. Morning, afternoon, night. 2 people, 3 people. And government is paying them. As far as I'm concerned, the money is there. Let nobody tell me that there's no money. Because this is one of the ways. You go to Lagos now. Now, as I'm talking to you in Lagos, crime rate has gone down. You have KAI, you have Y Brigade, so many organizations, hunters, vigilante, everybody is working and government is paying them. It reduces, everybody now know who is who, where are you coming from, where are you going. If you're a bus conductor, I see you in this bus today, and I see another one tomorrow, I begin to worry. Something has gone wrong. I want to know why it is like that. So for us to be able to cut this insider, bringing this problem, it is reorientation. No amount of money we pay them, no amount of salary we give them. Even if you now send them to our American training, let us sit down here, let's begin to talk about it while we are drinking, while we are eating cola. Let's put our house together. Edo State is my own. I don't have another state. So if you are working here, a federal agency, you are working here, work as if you are an Edo DG. If you are a vigilante, of course, all the vigilante, majority of them, more than 95% of them are EDJ. Let's put our house in order. Cannot be running here. That's it. Edo is one of the places that of security. That's why you have hotels, so many things here. But this thing is being eroded. People are afraid to come to Benin now. Development is being reduced. I know a lot of people, when they are coming to this country, they stop in Lagos. They don't want to go to Edo because something will happen at our rest. Something will happen.
We must change the narrative.
The narrative.
All right, Mr. Makmo. We see most of these vigilantes when we go to parties, we go to some of them, the way they dress. Sometimes you will even be afraid, and before you know, they'll start shooting. Some of them, there's this youthful exuberance. Yeah. They'll just carry the gun, they will start shooting. Their look, is there anything that can be done concerning the look and the way they just shoot this gun for no just reason, maybe because they are just excited? And some of them, you see them carrying one alcohol with them, drinking this gin. It is common. Is that good for this kind of?
I think no, it's unethical for any as a security personnel to be seen with maybe any kind of hard drug or kind of substances. And yes, so that alcohol, yeah, and also the dress code for any security personnel in a standard practice is usually you must be of the best conduct. That at least the next person seeing you and the person you are safeguarding life and property. At least me seeing you, I should not have this phobia of like kind of. So I think it's something that the Edo State government need to really look at. Because even myself, I've also made complaints to the higher authority, and because of which I'm also close to, that they need to have a better orientation and kind of retrainings. Because you cannot say because you are being privileged as a local vigilante, and the very striking part is that the way some of them handle this day gun, is like they have been carrying an SMG or carrying even more than AK-49. They should understand that this is I don't know, this mentality of we within the side, we just feel that a man holding a gun has everything. And if you go to events like you say or parties, you see the way they shoot sporadically and not wear caution. There's one particular event, because I am into event security, I was forced to caution one. I said, my brother, there are people trained in armory. There are people trained in handling weapons and ammunition. So there's what we call, there's different categories and stages and also procedures before you even shoot out. You don't just shoot anyhow. You have crowded places. And the young man, even for it just got my intervention, maybe somebody would have dropped down. Because mistakenly the team was already on, it was not on safety, and they never knew that there was a bullet that could not cock out. And if not for my intervention, that maybe that event would have been something else. But thank God. So at that particular event, I instructed and I cautioned and educated the young man and the other vigilantes that are there. I said, as a security expert, I cannot be here seated and see things like this. And the young man quickly left that particular scene and got the gun on the safety and on the right track. Lastly, is that they are doing a good job. Let it not seem as if because of their dress code and attitude and all that, it will not be maybe the citizenry or the people does not now appreciate what they are doing. You see somebody putting on a shirt, carrying a gun in the name of vigilante with their face cap and their inscription. It is very, very wrong. So we are using this medium to call on the authority to please, as a matter of urgency and necessity, let's give them a better orientation, better training. They should be well dressed, looking neat and good. And also those that are in terms of BS, they need to look neat at all level, at all time. It must not be because of their local vigilante. They need to be dressed
like
in the traditional, the hunters. You understand? Thank God we have my guy here. We have the representatives here. So please, they should look very neat and clean. You know, like when you are seeing a SWAT police or you are seeing, let them. There's nothing stops them. I lock some of their kit up. Let them look like a SWAT. So it does not stop because they are local vigilante. So we should remove all this traditional. It must not be a traditional cultural thing that they must be. No, that's just my appeal to
all right,
the authority.
let me come to Dr. Bebo. Some of them, he said something about the look.
Exactly.
Some of them, there's this constant reddish eyes.
Yeah.
The eyes are not like
Let me
clear.
tell you the reason why.
Okay.
I give them kudos
They are trying.
because they are trying, just as
not that
he said.
Most people.
The truth of the matter is, there are some of them running 72 hours at a stretch without going back home. I'm telling you, right now they are being stressed because some say it's because they lack the manpower. The state lack the manpower. Yes, the governor, I expect our amiable governor to come out clearly now and announce we need 10,000, we need 20,000 officers. Not until they start to run shift, their eye will remain the same. No, just go near them. There are some that will tell you for a whole week, I have not been to my house. I remember vividly when we started the Obo game. For a whole month, I know some officers for a whole month, they were always on ground. Imagine somebody that walked throughout the night, they continue in the day. How do you expect the eyeball to look like? We are discussing it. It's supposed to be more reddish than the fellow that is just from alcohol. Yes, the truth of the matter is just as my colleague earlier said, they are from various, vigilante group. There is one they call Vigilante Group of Nigeria,
Yes, that's what we
which my brother brought to the state.
Yes.
A person of Prince Eweka. Prince Eweka himself is a disciplined man, and he makes sure that these people are disciplined. There are some certain dress code you can't put on, except you have undergone some kind training. There are some certain, usage that you cannot adopt, except you're going through some kind training. So, Vigilante Group of Nigeria, they are national body. Yes, it was Prince Eweka that brought it to the state. These people are well trained. They have been trained several times.
Okay.
But there are others that were formed just few months ago and all that. You understand? So all what I expect now from the state government is to make sure that all of them are blended together. They should go through a special training under police, under civil defense, even under military. Yeah. Because right now, from the look of things, from what is happening now in Nigeria, we are not far-fetched from war. We are already in war.
We are not there yet.
No.
That's what you will say.
You shouldn't blow that whistle.
Yeah.
All right.
We are blowing it away
Okay.
from us.
Let me not blow. Okay.
Every-
That will be out of proportion.
Yes,
All right.
every-
Now,
Explain.
the truth of the matter is, they are
Okay,
from
just
various
hold,
bodies.
just
Mm.
hold your thoughts
Okay.
because we need to go to come to Pastor.
Yes, now, Pastor.
Osifo.
Yeah.
Pastor Osifo talking about. We said most of them are very very stressed and because of the manpower
Yes.
available. My thought, apart from that, you see most of them. Maybe there are 10 vigilantes in a party or in any place. The 10 of them carrying weapons. Am I right?
Yes.
Is it necessary that all should carry? Wouldn't be so.
Certainly.
Okay, can you say something on that? Must all carry weapons? Can't some just go on, just be casual and blend in to get more information?
I am very grateful to hear that. Thank God I'm also part of it. I'm not carrying weapons.
Okay.
So it's not everyone of it that is carrying weapons. But I think I want to bring the other aspect of it. You know, in all these things that we are saying, we all depend on God.
Okay.
No matter the circumstances. And the word of God says so. Nobody does the watching except the Lord watch.
Yeah.
But what we are trying to do is to do our own man part. What man can do, God will not come and do it for you. It is right. Even the weapon they are carrying now, let me quickly address it. Is not provided by government. More or less, it's individual.
Okay.
So it is not a compulsion.
Yeah, it must be
It's not
established.
a compulsion that everybody should carry a weapon. But we need it for protection. And sometimes the type of weapon like people like us will carry may not be the one that you hang out everywhere. Because we are doing some good job hiding, trying to do one thing or the other to make sure that even the people on the field get the right thing. Like this kind of information we are giving now, I'm sure they will take dressing. Those ones that have been wearing clothes anyhow, those that have been doing it anyhow. But I even saw one day just carry the thing. When they carry the thing, myself, I was shocked. I came down from bed and said, bros, carry this thing where? So it's not the compulsion that all of us should carry weapons. Just as they have mentioned, how many those underground workers or underground investigators, how many of them carry weapons? They don't even know that they are underground investigators. They don't do what. But for the purpose of the public, let me tell you something. The issue we are talking about, they also carry weapons. And for you to counter, you also need weapons.
All right, thank you so much. Before I let you guys go, let me come to Mr. Marco. How can these people be encouraged? Briefly, just so.
Well, I think the government need to encourage them more with a lot of funding and kind of let it be kind of appraiser of awards that these people need to be given a better social welfare scheme. At least this will boost their morals in most activities that they do.
Thank you, Dr. Ogbe.
Yes, they should encourage them salary-wise, and then make sure that there are more manpower in the system, so that they can run shift, not just to run 72 hours or a week. One person running a week, we look haggard, So they should encourage them by letting them run shift.
Pastors.
Same manner, no one is being paid yet by government. The government should just that. We're talking about security. Security costs money. Really costs money. At least these people that made themselves available. How many people? Nobody goes to war on his own accord. Somebody has to pay. They need to be paid.
All right, thank you so much. We've been looking at vigilante group in Nigeria and in ensuring that we have a peaceful and a stable society. When the society is peaceful and stable, investors will come and there will be business boom. And when there's business boom, the men will be they will rest well and they will not think of going into crime.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Jeffrey Scott Emakbo. He is the Director of Operations and the Chief Security Officer, Diamond VIP Security. Thank you so much for coming. And Dr. Ugbebo Matthew Omonosagiagbon. Thank you so much for your thoughts and your contributions. We really appreciate you. Okay, J.W. Osifo, Pastor, the man of God, and also into security. So he's doing the better watch now. From the pulpit and
from the prayer.
Thank you so much. That's our show this morning. Thank you for staying. I'm Josephine Eyimiye. Do have a blissful day ahead.
EBS TV, television reloaded.